Alright, today we're going to go over a breakdown of a contest goose routine. I'm going to go through all the parts, break them down, show you some different stuff to them, and then show you how to put it together at the end. The first part of a contest goose routine is going to be your hail calls. Your hail calls are a series of loud, basically over-exaggerated honks. It's to simulate getting the geese's attention from far off, and it's going to sound a little something like this. It's just... You're going to do a couple sets of those, different pitches. You can do 2, 3, even I've heard even 4 different pitches done. But generally it's somewhere between 5 to 8 of those, and this is how a general hail call sequence goes. You know, that's your general hail call sequence. That's getting the geese's attention from far off. That's painting a picture of the beginning. It's painting a picture in the judges' minds of the beginning, getting the geese's attention. The next part you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do basically some loud, slower stuff, building in to getting excited. A lot of people want to just jump in and go fast off their hail calls. You need to build into that speed, because when they're that far off, it's just going to sound like a jumbled mess. If you're go straight into your fast stuff, you want to work into it more of some power notes. You have a lot of power on each note, a lot of single stuff, bouncing it back and forth, and it's going to sound, opening sequence off your hail calls, it's going to sound a little something like this. That's when you're going to want to start building it into your fast stuff. That's your greeter, that's the beginning of your greeter, and that's building into your fast stuff. Your next series of fast stuff is probably going to be 1 to 2 sequences of some faster stuff. It's a lot of singles, doubles, spit notes, quick spits, moans and everything. You just want to make it flow. And here's a sample of coming off of that intro greeter. This is the next sequence that could potentially come into a routine. Alright, that was 2 sequences right there. There was 1 breath in between. A big thing, in my opinion, as a judge, that I want to hear is flow. I don't want to hear a lot of check geese. And by check geese, I'm talking about that individual goose where they're getting a bunch of small breaths in between sequences. That really kills the flow on a routine for me. And that check goose is going to sound something like this, coming off of a sequence into another one. You see how I took about 3 different check geese right there. And to me, that really kills the flow of routine. You want to limit that to 1, 2 at the most. It's really going to make the routine more solid and have a better flow. And that's just one little thing that I would have to say about the fast stuff is trying to eliminate the check geese. Next part we're going to work at is the come down. Off your fast stuff, you want to make it flow into a come down. You got the geese's attention, they're coming to you, they're getting closer, you want to work them down. And you know, I'm just going to show kind of a generic one right here, and this is coming off of your fast stuff. Alright, so you brought the geese down, they're getting close, you know, you want to finish them, but someone sticks their head out, they flare, you know, the dog pops out, something happens, the geese flare out, and so that's when you want to get into your comeback. Your comeback, it's you got to build into it. You don't want to jump to the top too fast. You want to plead to get those geese back. And here's just kind of a little generic comeback. And you can see it was just kind of using some spit notes and some clucks and double clucks, and then you really exaggerated the top part to get back here. And then you're going to flow that into some more fast stuff. You want to come, the fastest stuff that you got, you want to put right after your comeback, because that's when you want to be the most excited to get those geese's attention, to get the geese attention to come right back around and come back to you when they just flared off you. So basically you're going to have another section of fast stuff, pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through that. After that, you're going to want to bring them back down again, because they turn around, they're coming back to you, they're committing to you, and you want to bring them back down. You want to try to keep your second come down a little different than your first. So before, where I did some moans and clucks and double clucks coming down, this is coming off of the fast stuff after a comeback. This would be something to go through that's different than your first come down. You know, and it's bringing them back down. That's using more of spit note with some clucks mixed into it. Just a little something different to show the judges that you don't want to be repetitive. You don't want to do the same stuff throughout your entire routine. The last part that we're going to do is the closeout. Basically, this is where you're trying to sound like geese on the ground. You're trying to finish those geese off. And right at the end, it looks like they're going to land outside the decoys. You want to hop them back up over the outside of your decoys and get them to land right in your hole. And it's going to sound just a little something like this. This is where you can throw in, you know, a lot of your murmurs, a lot of your trick notes. This is where you can really show your personality in a routine. And that's you know, every little piece of a contest goose routine. You start them out with the hails, they're way out there. You start working them, they're coming into you, get into your fast, excited stuff, and then work them down. Something flares them, you got to go back up to the top. Really fast stuff, work them back into you, and then finish them off. Pop them up over the outside decoys, and then boom, you take the shot. I'm going to put it all together so you can see how all the pieces fit together. This is just going to be a real generic routine. It's not really my routine, just a real generic, easy to do. It would score middle of the road, but I'm just going to go through that. a generic, middle of the road contest routine right there. The biggest thing is to keep your goose. You want to have good tone. You want to have good flow, decent power, decent speed. You don't need to go super fast to be successful. I'm one of the slower people on the contest circuit, but because of the tone and the flow and the technical difficulty in my routine, still score good despite being a little bit slower than everybody. You know, you want to really show your personality. You want to separate yourself while still staying inside the box of what is considered acceptable for a contest goose routine. You know, I gave you the basics. I laid it out there for you, the basics. You can create your own sequences, your own comeback, your own lay down work. You know, just make it your own. But that gives you the basic format for what you need to do to have consideration by the judges in a contest. For anybody wondering, the call I'm using, it's just a stabilized bird's eye maple circuit breaker. It's one of the calls I make. It's got a set of broken cluckers in it. I just throw them in here, right here, to make this to make this little tutorial. But it's more about the caller than the call, but you do have to have something that's going to keep up with you. That's a breakdown of a contest goose routine. Hope it helps.